Hi guys, are we live? I think we're live right now. Excuse the washing behind me, or the dry washing. And excuse me, here it is lockdown, and it is getting out of control. And I have just finished my IVs today. I have the plaster. Actually, I'm showing you here. Usually my pick line's round about here, but this time it was here. So it's got a plaster on it. It's just a tiny, tiny little incision there. So finished today. I had my last dose of meropenem this morning, and I've had full 2 weeks of it, 14 days, twice a day, morning and evening, and started picking up quite well around about day 4, day 5. Started feeling more alert, so to speak. At the same time, feeling drained and tired with the IVs, which they make you really, really sleepy. So even though I was fighting the infection and feeling better, I was having the reverse effect of the IVs and what they do to you. So now we're off him. How long before I have another chest infection? We'll have to wait and see. But what I will say is I'm starting to develop the prostatitis symptoms again, which is infection in the prostate. And it seems to be every time I'm on IVs now, either midway through I show signs of, either urine infection or prostatitis infection where I need to wee a lot at night. And I was a bit worried the other night because I thought I was going into, what's it called now? Urinary retention. So I thought that's what was happening to me. And lucky for me, I managed to empty my bladder. So now I'm drinking a lot of water. I have been told that I should be drinking 5 litres of water a day just because of the strong antibiotic I've been on. And to be honest, I wasn't doing that. I was having more cups of teas than water. So now I've got the symptoms of this terrible, terrible urgency, needing to wee a lot and very little. I'm going to try and clear the system out because I have been doing a lot of research about prostatitis, and it is a candida build-up, and it makes sense that every time I'm on IVs, I suffer with the prostatitis issues I've got. Um, so it's annoying. It's like you kill one thing and then you open a can of worms with with what you're taking for something else. So I know I do have an old packet of ciprofloxacin lying about which tackle the prostate infection, but I don't really want to be on more antibiotics. I've just come off 2 weeks meropenem, so I'm trying my best to drink water and see how it goes. See if I can clear the system out of the candida that way. This time I haven't built it up on my tongue. It's quite clear. I do feel a bit of the tickle sensation like you do with candida, but nothing like I have had in the past when I've been on IVs. I normally get tremendous, tremendous candida. Um, so yeah, I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling all right. I mean, this lockdown, it's been, I won't say a walk in the park to me, but I don't go out much anyway because of my chest condition. So not much has changed in the aspects of what it's done to me mentally. Not going out and doing this and doing that. So I've been all right. It's just the medications that have got to me a bit. Realizing that you have to, when you're on home IVs, you don't have a select time where the nurses come and do your medications. You have a time frame where there has to be a gap before they can do it. I think it's 6 to 8 hours. So one day they could come at eight in the morning, and the next day they could come at 11:30 in the morning. So not knowing, feeling tired, things like that played a part. Coming twice a day as well. It's it's a long thing really because I'll explain what happens once I've had a drink of my water. So what happens with me is I don't have a port. So a port is normally a foreign body object, and it's basically like having a PICC line or a cannula inserted inside your body, so it's always there. You've got a slight wire or something like that, and you get your drips through the ports, normally in the chest area. Well, I don't. I have PICC lines, and that'll be my third one. I've had 3 in my life. So on the first visit, someone had to come out from the rapid response team, which are connected to the home IV team. And they came, and I'd say they took about an hour and a half, because what they have to do is locate the vein, and then cut the vein, cut the skin to insert it, but things don't always go to plan. So what happened in my case is we tried the right arm, the bruising's gone down now, obviously it was 2 weeks, it was around about here somewhere. Scanned it, and great vein, everything like that. Went in with the stuff to numb it, and it just shrank. It just shrank. So she's like, I don't believe what's just happened. So we had to go from the right arm and try the left, and we ended up here somewhere, and that went in fine. All that takes some time, because it's like a mini operation. I won't call it an operation because it's not, but it's still a procedure. Everything has to be sterile. And you do get cut, you do get cut, and there's a bit of blood, and there's a bit of cleaning afterwards, and things like that. It doesn't really hurt. It hurt more in the hospital than it did at home. I don't know why. So that happened. So then the very next day, I started my medications. My delivery comes. So someone from the pharmacy deliver your medications. It normally comes in a box or 2. In your boxes, you have all your stuff like your meds to be made up, your flushes, which flush the PICC line so it's cleaned, just stuff like that, and that comes. So when the nurses come out, what they have to do then is do like they would in an hospital's scene, check your observations, oxygen, pulse, temperature. They can do this at any time. They can do this before they make the medicines up, or they can do this as your medicines are going. It doesn't really matter. Really, they should do it before, just so they don't get any false reading. Then they go into your kitchen with a blue tray, and they start making your medicines up, and all this takes about an hour and a half, because obviously the medication's got to run through. So then they come again at the evening. So you're dealing with a nurses, should I say. Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 2 at a time. You're dealing with them 3 hours, a day for 2 weeks. So that's stressful in itself. But some of the nurses are great. Some of the nurses you just get on with. Some of them you don't. It's a bit awkward. But majority of the times we've built up a good relationship with most of them now. Vicky's had them 5 years. I've seen him for 3 years, about 5 years, I think. So I've got to know him before my IVs. So I know the ones I like, and the ones that I can just stomach, and the ones that get under my skin. But at the end of the day, we're not here to like everyone. We're here to get our meds, and as long as they do my meds, my observation, come and go. You know what I mean? It's no trouble to me. Let them do the job, and that's it, really. So I think my bloods came back okay as well. The only thing is, which I said to Vicky today, when when my medicine's finished, I didn't have a third blood test, because what normally happens when you're on these home IVs, you get a blood test before you start them, and you get a blood test midway through, and you get a blood test at the end of it, just to make sure your markers and whatever. So I've not had that last blood test, so I'm wondering if it's coming tomorrow, if it gets picked up somewhere down the line, or they were happy with my last blood test. I don't know. So yeah, lockdown, guys. Hope you're doing okay. Hope everyone's getting the medication. I'm still waiting on a prescription. Actually, this prescription's about 6-7 days. 6-7 days waiting. I'm lucky I've got spares of a lot of medication. What happened is my dad suffers with asthma and diabetes, so he got his shielding letter before I got mine. He got his about 3-4 weeks ago. So my dad stopped going to places, so he stopped picking my medication up. My pharmacy are terrible. I rang him a few times. He asked me to go down the Good Samaritan route and asked Good Sam to deliver me meds. I went on the website, tried to sign up, and it was more for like first responders. But we come across a site or a company, whatever, a volunteer company called Spirit of Salford, and they've helped us with a few things, but picking up the medication, not yet. Maybe because it was a late registration. But yeah, they've helped us with some stuff. You know, we've had a box of food here and there, things like that. So if you are in Manchester, Salford, Google Spirit of Salford. If you are struggling to get to the shops, get medication, things like that, it should help you. Good Sam, again, you might have more luck with it. The website Good Samaritans, Google that. Just don't go without your medications if you can avoid it. It's just a worrying time, really, because yes, we do count on our medications, but we're not going to die if we miss a nebulizer. Yeah, we're going to struggle, but we're not going to die. Now, one of my friends told me a few weeks ago that he needed some warfarin, which is a blood thinner for his heart valve. And the chemist, when he went in to pick his medication, says, "You can't have him today because there's a problem with computers." And my friend said, "Listen, I'm not leaving your chemist until I have my medication because I'm on a medication that thins my blood. And if I don't have this blood thinner, and my blood gets too thick, I could have a heart attack and die, or my heart valve can get clogged." I'm worried about them people right now, guys. I'm worried about them. Do you know medicine help us with bronchiectasis? That's not how you spell it, but yeah. I also have them. Yeah, I'm 45 years old and my lung are at 50%. So basically, obviously you're not English, but I can understand what you're writing there. You have bronchiectasis. Bronchiectasis. What is bronchiectasis? Yeah, bronchiectasis. And you've got a medicine that's helping you, and you only have a lung capacity of 50%. When you say you have capacity of lung 50%, do you mean in one lung or in both lungs combined? I don't know what mine is, but my partner's is terrible. Her lungs are operating at, what was it? I think 34%. Someone her age should be running at 34%, which isn't good. Thanks for coming along as well. I don't think I've seen you before here. If you've got any questions before I go or anything, you can ask me. Just stay well hydrated, guys. It has been a warm day. Both lungs okay. So 50% in both lungs. It's not too good. Obviously 100% is full capacity, so 50 half it. What is your lung sats? So you know when you put they put the oxygen sat on your finger. What is your oxygen sats? Do you know? Are you able to do exercise or anything? I have I don't know how to spell it. Catagina syndrome. I'll have to Google that. I'm not too sure what that is. I have bronchiectasis. I have a lot of things going on, to be honest, guys. I have a lot of things going on. But I think bronchiectasis is my worst out of them all. Bronchiectasis has been a nightmare, a real nightmare for me lately. My sinuses have been bad too. And I've just picked up now. I've come off my last day, come off my antibiotics. So hopefully now we can get at least 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I need to just stop stressing over stupidity. I'm stressing over everything, day-to-day life things, but things that are not supposed to make me stressed. Like if I'm playing on the console for a bit, I'm getting really angry with things, and that's probably down to the steroids and stuff like that. I only remembered yesterday I had a couple of days of steroids, so when I weigh it up, I can understand why my mood has been how it's been. And then this prostatitis kicking in as your medications start working for your chest. Something else starts going wrong with the body, and you think, not today, Frank, not today. So, yeah. I don't know if there's anything else I want to talk about, really, just to tell you now. I'm actually on the home IVs. I've actually been given them. So, let's hope I have a better life, and let's hope I have a port fitted sooner rather than later, because you feel restricted with a PICC line. And I don't know how these cancer patients can have them in for like 6 months. I'm telling you, I don't know how they get on with it. It's annoying, it really is. I'm not allowed to get it wet till tomorrow. It's only a plaster. So I can have a proper first full bath. I mean, I've been having baths, but not been able to to get my arm wet, you know. So where are you from? I can't even say your name. Excuse me. Blancanillo? Blancanillo? Your name sounds Russian or Polish. I'm under a waterfall in my house. I'm under a waterfall. Irish. No, I said Irish. I'm not Irish. I have so much mucus, it's so hard. Serbia, Montenegro. Yes. Serbia. So I was wrong. I said Polish or what? What was my guess? Polish or Croatian? Belgrade. Belgrade, yeah. I know that because of the football. The football, yeah. Belgrade, something Belgrade football team. I think there's two finger Belgrades. Yeah. So with a name like that, you have to be female. You sound a bit like a tennis player. Do you play tennis? That's my partner coughing in the background. She suffers really bad with a cough at the moment, really bad. Her cough's been that bad sometimes. I've had to just go like that. I've had to, and I know it sounds, a bit rude, but a cough in the last I wouldn't say few weeks, months has been relentless. Once she starts, she can't stop coughing. I thought it was a nervous cough. Or maybe something, but once it triggers off, the cough's been really bad, bless her. No. So anyway, how are you and your wife doing? Well, not my wife yet, but thanks. She's doing not too bad. She's just finished her home IVs. We started at similar times. I come on a week after she started. I will say things have improved with her, but she's just having a coughing fit now. So she's just gone out for a second. Yeah, have you got a shielding letter? I got a shielding letter too. 12 weeks. So I had a phone call as well. Saying to me, this is someone from the GP. They didn't give me the name. I'd never heard the voice before. I was just saying I've received a shielding letter and things like that. So, yeah, we get a few people on at night. Not many. Like I've come on because I've not been vocal on Facebook because something happened to my Facebook page. And I'm not able to get on there now. The only way I can get onto the bronchiectasis Facebook is by Vicky's account. So I've not been doing much on there. So you might see Facebook user. So, are you from Ireland, Donegans? I say it, the Donegans. I'm guessing you're from Ireland. I think we spoke before. And I'm going to have to go soon, guys, because I've only got 2% or 3%. I'm running out of things to say, things to do. And my partner's having a coughing fit in there. We have some idiots that live near us, and I don't think it's just barbecuing. I think it's what do you call it? Give us a second. Yeah, I don't think it's barbecuing. They've got a fascination of burning stuff, you know, them kind of idiots, where they just burn everything. They burn the garbage, well, not the garbage, the letters, and then instead of recycling the clothes, they burn them too. It's just a nightmare living here. We've got one house in particular, near the back of us. They've got a log fire. You can tell by the chimney. It always smokes, and in winter, I know we don't leave the windows open in winter, but it doesn't matter. It still gets through every crack and cranny in the windows or the doors, and can't wait to move from here. Yeah, no. See you later, while you can now, if that's how you say it. And sorry for saying it wrong. So yeah, barbecue season. Is it setting your chest off yet? Is anyone having lockdown parties? We had a few people yesterday because it was, what was it called, VE Day. A few people there with garden parties. And let's hope now, after all this rubbish is over, that people still keep up the unity. Or once it all goes, is everyone going to go back to the stubborn self where you're lucky if you get eye contact, you get a hello, how are you doing? You okay? How's your day? Because we've lost our way. We've lost our way. And I know there's massive protests in America at the moment, in places like Michigan. Oh, I can never say the name. It's Ohio. Ohio. I always say Ohio. Yeah, so I've got a few American friends, and they're saying they're protesting. California, they've been protesting. So, no, I've not had many visitors really. I mean, most people that have came has been Vicky's family, probably just dropping some bags of food off or something like that. Or do you need shopping? Do you need anything? I'm going here, I'm going there. But as visitors, I don't think anyone's been in here since it started, the lockdown, apart from the family, you know, apart from the initial family. No, because my kids come every now and then. Vic's kids stay at the dad's, sometimes come back. But apart from that, the only visitors we've had is nurses. I'm from England. I'm from Inglaterra. But I am a mongrel. I'm half Italian. I'm half Maltese. I'm obviously English. And most of all, I'm bronchiectasis. You alright there, Vic? Are you still choking your guts out?
No,
For flipping hell.
I just don't want to keep coughing and disturbing.
I think she's got a nervous cough. If I do something like this before I put my laptop on, she's fine, and then she starts coughing and choking. My laws have been great dropping off. Yeah. Well, it makes you think, doesn't it? Time to start thinking about making your own bread, doing some kind of gardening, growing your own herbs and that. Because when there's a food shortage, which there will be one time, I actually thought it was going to come this time around. I thought we were fighting something more than a pandemic or a virus. I thought sooner or later we're going to have people fighting over food, the shops, the stores are going to be shut. You know what I mean? So if you've learned anything from this, it's stay humble, learn Mother Nature, how to grow a few seeds and that before they stop selling seeds. I believe that's their aim sooner or later, to stop selling Mother Nature seeds. So, yeah, poor Vicky. How you got bronchitis? I believe I was born with it. Collapsed lung. And I spoke to a nurse the other day, and she said to me, well, you don't just get a collapsed lung for nothing. But my mum sort of thinks it was the way I was brought into the world, and the nurse didn't look after me, sort of like when you're a baby, you come out, you're supposed to clean inside your nose and stuff like that, get the mucus out. I don't know if they do something with the throat. They're supposed to clean you, give them to your mum, and then wrap you up. Well, with me, they didn't do that. They didn't do the proper cleaning. They're supposed to didn't keep me warm, and then put me in a bed next to a drafty window. And then within a day or two, my mum said, "You see my belly on my stomach going like this." I was only about 3 days old. My mum, she said she screamed hysterically, and the nurses come in, and that's when it all went off from there. I was in intensive care. I was intravenously fed. I was put on oxygen. I was in an oxygen chamber at about 30% or something like that. So I've lived it. Listen, I'm here for a reason. I don't know what that reason is, but I'm here for a reason. I've been hospitalised 6 times in 15 months. This is now my 7th IV, isn't it? Seventh IV in the last 16 months. I'm still here, so God's not done with me yet. I need to change my ways before God's done with me. I need to take it easy. I need to stop getting stressed. I have one lung overdeveloped and one overdeveloped. Well, there was this man. He's a taxi driver, and he was fit as anything. He used to run mini marathons or half marathons, and this one time he had a pain in his central chest, and he got rushed to the hospital. They thought he was having a heart attack, and they checked him over, and they found out he had angina. But not only that, because they had to do something. I can't recall the procedure they had to do, but they had to rush him in somewhere. And they found out that one of his lungs is normal and one of his lungs is a baby lung, like didn't grow, like a baby's lung. Seriously, it's mad, some of the stories you hear. Yeah. I was trying to write a book, and we had the book going really well. It was just an app on the phone, and we went from the childhood, teenage years, into my working life, and roughly where I am now. And what I did, the system restored my phone, and I lost the whole book. I was gutted. I think stress gets us all, it's the stress in everything we do these days. I mean, I'd say it's more money orientated these days. No matter even if you say, "Oh, I don't care about money," or this, I just get by, or whatever, or even if you're the richest person, I think money's the big stress. Bills, I think there's more bills to pay than there was years ago. Most of the stuff is stress. You can't get away from it. You can't. These little things that you think are, ways of getting away from stress, such as like playing a computer game, you find out that they cause you more stress than enjoyment these days. I don't know what they're doing, but you used to get a computer game, play it, enjoy it. Now you get on a game, and it's all about a pay-to-play mentality, especially with the football games, and just some of the stuff that happens, it's not enjoyable. So we need to go back to Mother Nature, do a little bit of fishing, get out. I used to do a lot of fishing. Years ago, in my teenage years, and then when I left school, 16 to maybe 20s, I used to go out at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'd go on my own. I'd put my rucksack on, I'd have my sandwiches. I'd make sure I had enough stuff, and I'd go fishing till it turned dark or dusk was falling. And I used to love it. I haven't been fishing. I'm now 33, nearly 34. I haven't been fishing for a good 10 years. I remember selling my gear years ago. I moved slightly away from this pond I used to go, and I can't even swim, but I love fishing that much. I used to try my best to go fishing on my own because it got to that point where everyone would let you down, saying you'd say, "Will you coming fishing? You coming fishing this week?" And no one come. So I used to end up going a lot home. Mental, absolutely mental. Yeah, so I'm trying to reevaluate during this lockdown in what I want to stop doing, what I want to start doing, and one of them is fishing. I want to be fishing at least a couple of days a month. I want to go back. I want to go exploring different places. I don't want to be fishing in the same pond, if that makes sense, and catching the same fish. I don't know. It'd be nice to go to one of these places where they have like a caravan, like I think they're called White Havens fisheries, stuff like that, where they have a caravan. If you take the kids, they have a little bit of amusement centre, barbecues, things like that. I'll just have to wear a mask when we're barbecuing. A doctor has wrote a bronchial dilation on my letter, but when I look it up online, it says bronchiectasis. It is strange. It is strange because a lot of specialists refer to bronchiectasis on a letter, either bronchiectasis. With me, documented bronchial sepsis. With Vicar, severe bronchiectasis. Or yeah, isn't it? And now dilation of the bronchial. Mm. We have a teenager, a 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old. Thank God we have a garden. Times like this now, the people who don't have a garden wish they had a garden, eh? And then the people who have a garden think, Jesus, my grass is getting a bit high this time of year. So yeah, no, you need a garden. One thing I will recommend if you have chest conditions and you're not going anywhere, you're not going to the beach, you're not going to the park, you need a garden. You want to get out of an house and get a back garden, sit out there, and get a gardener in, get a little water feature in there, get a little pond or something. You need to enjoy the life. Don't confine yourself into being housebound. You know what I mean? Enjoy yourself because it is a worrying time, really. Especially if you're on your own and you can't get out. Be nice to just get in the back garden, get Alan Titchmarsh round, pimp my garden out, get Alan Titchmarsh there with his purple rose bush. Yeah. Or you could get Vicky to pick you some plants. She just picked a corker of a plant here out at Tesco's. The nurse said, "Is that a real plant?" It's beautiful, a house plant, isn't it? That's another thing while we're here. Plants. I'm not no super gardener, but I've planted a few crops in my time, especially turning lawns into veg plots and things like that over the years. But one of my ex-partner's granddads was massive on having house plants in his house, and he'd have two near his television, just scattered around. They won't be in one room; they'd be scattered around. There'd be some in his bungalow, hallway, but predominantly in the front room where he watched TV or in his living room. He'd have his patio windows and there'd be air coming in, circulation air, but the best air I've ever felt by being in someone's house was the granddad of my ex-partner. And I don't know if it was because of that circulation of air, the fact he watered his crops, his plants in his house, and he had these plants that some people neglect these days. They'd rather go for an artificial plant rather than a proper plant because it takes too much effort. So that's something worth bearing in mind, getting a few house plants, because I've got to be careful what I say. But with this new technology that's going up, these transmitters and all that, they're lowering the absorption of oxygen. So for someone who's at 99% oxygen and 100% oxygen, having a slight decline in that isn't going to affect them. But someone like me, Vicky, yourselves, who is probably at 94, 93 at an infection, if you start dropping down there, that's when it's serious. Once it starts going into the 91, 89 and all that, it's just not good. So I do recommend getting some house plants in if you can. And thanks for the reply, mate. I'm not sure because they didn't tell me my problem was pneumothorax. That's what Vicky had. And pleurotomy. This is something new. And getting some bad pains. Well, Vicky had the pneumothorax. That's a collapsed lung, isn't it? I've had a slight pneumothorax, mate. And when I had a slight pneumothorax, I was in so much pain. I think it was on the left side, if I remember correctly. I had this pain that I couldn't put my arm anywhere near my ribs. It felt like it was crushing every time. Just gently put my arm down. When I was in a taxi going to hospital, just putting my back against the backrest of the car, I was in excruciating pain. And on my last visit, when I was in hospital, there was a guy who was very tall and very slim, and I mean slim. And he kept telling us that he keeps getting a collapsed lung on the same side, I think. I think it was his right side. So I'm like, do you have a chest condition? He said, no. So I'm like, do you play sports, tennis or something like that? Are you fracturing a rib? He said, no, but it's happened to me 2 or 3 times. And I said, there's got to be an underlying issue here. And I think even the people said, like the doctors and nurses, this is like the 3rd time this has happened to you. He had a chest training. He said, we're going to have to do some investigation. But I heard if you are very skinny and very tall, you can suffer with collapsed lung. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. I'm just catching up with the writing.
That's what I just said there, tall and skinny, spontaneous and before.
Yeah. I've lost a bit of the finger. It's terrible pain. My heart goes out to you all. I've only come off codamol, I think that is. Tall, skinny, yeah. Painkillers, they're not the best things neither. But I suffer with a lot of pain issues. And there's not much pain I haven't been through. So I have a very good pain threshold. And I'll tell you, chest pain is one of the worst pains you can have. And the thing is, even with painkillers, they don't really go down because all it takes is a cough, a laugh, squeeze it, breathe in, your lungs are clenching or something against your ribs. I've been on codeine, I've been on morphine, I've been on Zapain. That Zapain, whoa. I tell you, I've never felt a tablet that's made me nauseous and can't see. No, I wouldn't recommend Zapain for pain. Do cocodamol contain codeine? I think they do. I think they do contain codeine, cocodamol. It's paracetamol and codeine, so is Zapain. The best painkiller that I think you can have intravenously is paracetamol. Paracetamol in a tablet to intravenously are 2 different things. I'm telling you. Absolutely, if you've not had it and you have it, you'll say, "Wow, I didn't think paracetamol could take away these kind of pains." You'd be shocked intravenously, and that's what was doing me head in when I was going into the hospital a few months ago. And I was saying, these antibiotics aren't working anymore. These oral antibiotics aren't working. I want some IVs. What makes you think IVs are going to work any better than the tablet? They both get into your bloodstream. I said, of course they both get into your bloodstream, but one has to get through your digestive system, then into your bloodstream. when intravenously it's going straight into the blood. I'm not stupid. You know what I mean? So that means it's going to attack the infection quicker and you're going to have a quicker recovery rate. The doctors don't like you knowing anything. The doctors want you to be stupid. They want you to be that person that doesn't challenge anything, doesn't know nothing, and says, yes, doctor, bye, doctor, see you in 3 months' time, doctor. But it's only when you know something that they say, well, we can't keep fobbing these people off with this, because they're not a guinea pig anymore. They're not stupid. They're not going to say, well, we've been trying this. Now you're fobbing me with this. I actually know what works because it's tried and tested. Every time I go in hospital, you give me this medication, it works. So why are you holding it away from me? It makes no sense. Now, the antibiotic in question is meropenem, and it's basically the Ferrari of IV medication, meropenem. It treats a wide range of bugs. Now, they are very scared to give you this IV over a long time because if everything else stops working, if meropenem stops working, everything else does, and then there's nothing to give you, kind of thing. So they try to keep that away. It's like Vicar has been on meropenem for 5 years, continuously, unless they found something else in a bug and they said switch over to this type. But she's been on for the long haul meropenem, and now they're switching Vicky off the meropenem so she doesn't get resistant to it because it's one of the best. And they've just given 2 weeks of, what was it called, Vic? Tazidine. Put it in there, Vic. I can't say that, especially now my voice is going. Yeah, so I'm just catching up with the writing when I have a break because of my voice. The bronchiectasis, you talk too much, you start losing your voice. It's like, mine goes a bit like husky, and like I don't get it out proper. Tazidine, that's it. So he had the bilateral pneumothorax, had drains, and then ops. Yeah, it's pure. In Newcastle, what's the chest doctors like in Newcastle? You don't hear. I've not heard many people from Newcastle with bronchiectasis, but we are finding out there's a lot more people from the northwest, from Manchester. There's a hell of a lot that is popping up, and I'm not surprised. Really. We've all consumed the same shite, and we can't get away from it. Stay away from that fluoride water. Stay away from the tap water. 2006, yeah. So you've known about your bronchiectasis a very long time then, yeah? I say I only know of it, but I'd be wrong. I was diagnosed 2010, but obviously I know something was wrong with me. I was stick thin. People used to go like this when I speak and had the infection. I didn't know what they were doing, because when your infection's not under control and you don't know that when you speak you're going to be smelling of all these infections. And as a kid I had poor appetite and things like that. So I think as a child, especially in my school years, I think I've had it all my life, really. And you know when you've not had an infection for a very long time, because when you do get it, you smell it, right? But when you've got a chest infection all the time, you don't notice that you've got one, because you're used to your own smell and senses. It's just the people around you that'll say you've got an infection, and some smell worse than others, of course. I think Haemophilus influenza smells a bit like farts or something, doesn't it? Disgusting smell. Just found out in 2019. Letter said GP no action, so thinks it maybe it's probably a mild bronchitis. But what really pisses me off is I'm hearing there's lots of mild bronchiectasis, and it doesn't merit a specialist. Vicky's cousin's got bronchiectasis, doesn't merit a bronchiectasis specialist or a chest specialist, even once every 12 months. Come off it. It's wrong. I was diagnosed 2007, year after we had our first child due to pneumonia. Yeah, that's how I got it. I got more follow tests after my pneumonia. I can't describe it. I mean, everything was going well. I was boxing training. I was ready to turn professional. But a few weeks before this happened, I started going on the scales and my weight was going lower and lower and lower. I went from about 9 stone 2 to 8 stone 10, 8 stone nearly 6, 8 stone 7. So what's going on here? I've not changed anything. I'm doing the same amount of training. And I had a pain in my central chest. And I thought I was having a heart attack. That's all. That's the only I can tell you. It was so severe, I couldn't even speak. I was doing my best to get my shoes on and just get taken to hospital. And yeah, but prior to that, when I say I wasn't feeling it come out of the blue, it didn't. Prior to me getting that centralized chest pain and losing the weight, a few weeks before it, I turned up to accident emergency, and they took the mick out of me completely, out of me. Made me wait hours for this, hours for that, and I wanted second opinions and things like that. And it was just getting a bit too much, a bit too late, and I decided to go. I didn't wait for that all important X-ray. I just got off, and when I got rushed in, they still didn't take me seriously. My sister's boyfriend took me in, and I was in that much pain. He put the hazards on his car, and he flew to the hospital. And even then, they didn't rush me through. They didn't rush me through triage. Just took me in, made me sit in the waiting area, and I literally, guys, I was shaking. I couldn't even control it, trembling like that. I was getting embarrassed, thinking people are going to be looking at me. I was trembling in pain. Sister's boyfriend's just gone straight to triage. I think he booted the doors and come and get me. Brother-in-law now, I think he's having an heart attack. He come and got me, and then there's a few tests. Oh, it was traumatic. I was having blood tests, and they couldn't get it, and then they got it, and it was dripping dead slow. So I'm sort of like that with one of my arms. She's collecting the blood, and she says, we've got enough here, I think. And then about 30, 40 minutes later, come back and says, it's all congealed, can't use it. We're going to have to take some more bloods. But that's how we got the diagnosis. I got let out, I think, same day. I think they wanted to keep me in. Or I seen the chest doctor in the morning. I think I only had one day, well, not even a day, one bag of IVs, and I had acute pneumonia. And I think I got sent home with some antibiotics, started losing loads of weight. If I can find a picture, I'll show you the picture. If I can ever get it back, you'd be surprised how skinny I was. Seriously. I think I hit the 7 stone marker. I think I went, because I was doing the boxing training, I went from 9 stone to about 7 stone 6 at one point with it. You know when someone has a bad pneumonia because they lose weight, boom, 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 boom. They lose a lot of weight with pneumonia. If there's any comments there and you see them, let me know of it. Yeah, I think that was one of my traumatic times. Or when I had this strenophonomonas, it's a hard word to say. I had the camera up in my lungs, and they bring up some mucus, and obviously they look at it and they try and grow what's there. And they found that I had something which was quite lucky, because I was in talks with my specialist at this time and things like that, and I'm telling him I feel really ill. I feel almost like I've caught a flu, but a really, really bad flu. I feel like I'm dying. And he says, you've grown something in your lungs here on the bronchial wash. It's never shown up before. So they put me on some tablets, and the tablets weren't doing much. So then he's basically, he's a very good specialist. He's decided to locate me a bed on the ward. So I just went to the ward and said, the specialist said he's got me a bed. They didn't have a bed ready. I waited in the waiting room while getting the bed ready. And then that was a nightmare. They switched the tablet format I was on to an IV format. Same thing, but through the IV. And I had the worst allergic reaction in my life. I went like a lobster. My hands were turning blue. My fingernails here was going blue. I was in a bad way. And they were talking about upping the antihistamines to bring the rash down, to bring everything down, to keep me on this medication because it's working. But then my bloods were skyrocketing. I was at 100 on the, what's it called now, Vic? I forgot the word. I was at 100 anyway, infection markers. I was at 100. CRP, it's called CRP. And the CRP markers were at 100, so I can't remember when we looked at it, it said anywhere between 10 and 20 is an infection. So I was at 100. So then they said because the antihistamine's not working, we're going to have to phone Wythenshawe Hospital and see what happens with a cystic fibrosis patient in this situation. If a medication's not working, what can we do for life-saving treatment? But then what they did, I think they just stepped me down because I had a few days of that, and then they stepped me back down to the tablets, and lucky for me, I got better. So I was very lucky on that one. Very, very lucky. Oh, terrible. I was that bad with this allergic reaction, yeah. I was getting my hairbrush, I was trying to brush my back, everywhere. Nothing would take it down. It went on for ages and ages and ages. But it's my own fault because day 1, day 2, Vicky came in and said, you look a bit blotchy there. But I normally do go blotchy on Tazocin, Meropenem. So to me, I was just having a similar effect and it wouldn't cause any problems. Oh, to be honest, I thought it was a goner. And if it wasn't for like my mum saying, listen, this happened to me years ago. I had an allergic reaction and they get you the right tablets or whatever, you'll feel okay. I thought what was happening to me wasn't the allergic reaction, it was the infection. I thought the infection was wiping me out. It wasn't nice. I'm going to run this for the hour, so I'm going to get off in 7 minutes anyway. Might as well give it an hour. We've got a few watches.
If you look up Dr. Leonard Caldwell, he talks about the link of stress and disease. Yeah, stress and disease is massive links, whether it's a human or a fish. So if you've got a fish in a tank and your heating's blown, so your fish like to be at 29 degrees, but now your heater's gone and you're maintaining 20 degrees, these fish are under massive stress. Now there's things that live in the fish tank, parasites and things like that. Now they can't normally attack the fish because the immunity is good and the stress levels are, good. But once they're under stress, this is when the parasites start latching on and attacking. And the same can be said about humans, that the stuff that lives in our chest and our lungs and all that. But if we're having a good diet, good sleep and things like that, our immune system will probably fight them off or keep them at bay so they don't attack us too much. So we don't keep getting repeated infections, keep them off bay. But then if you stress yourself, boom, again, you're like the fish in the tank, you've lowered your immunity and you're going to get into attacks. You've lowered your recovery rate, so it might take you longer to recover this time, things like that. So that is quite interesting. I'll give you some philosophy about a fish tank and how parasites affect fishes and things like that in a similar way that humans are like this bottle of water here. You can fill this bottle of water
to a certain degree and it won't overflow. But if you keep filling it, it's going to overflow. And that's what happens to a human. If the input is more than the output, you're going to get ill. You're going to get ill. Whether it's mental stress, physical stress, chest infections, whatever your condition is. It's just a breeding nest. Stress is a breeding nest for all conditions, really. Have you noticed that when you have been stressed, you came down with a cold, a flu, a chest infection? Because stress affects everything. Like I was stressed before I come on this video, and I just got some takeaway. I couldn't even eat my takeaway. I felt like I was full up. I didn't want to eat. So if you look how stress really affects you, it affects everything. It affects the way you want to communicate with people, eat food, sleep. You read some comments out, Vic, while I have a swig.
Since I found out what this bronchial dilation is, it's hurting more because I'm stressed about it.
Early, I wouldn't say early on, but you can't get away with it. You can't get away from stress. Stress is there. If you're having, exacerbation, your stress levels are going to be up anyway. You'll find yourself being a little bit more emotional. You might feel yourself being a bit agitated, maybe falling out with people. Even in the lead up to an infection, these are signs normally. You'll have the way you're feeling about yourself, about the way you're overreacting over stuff, and then you'll get an infection. But yeah, when you feel poorly, it's just a natural occurrence. That there's nothing you can do. Even if you've been through this 50,000 times, and at the end of it, there's going to be a tablet. It's going to make you feel better. You're going to have a few good weeks, and then you're going to get it again. No matter how many times you've been through that, it's never the same, right? It's never the same where you can just snap out of it and say, I don't feel stressed, I don't feel depressed because I know what's coming. I know there's going to be an end result. I'm going to feel better. You can't. You think you could prepare yourself because it keeps happening. You think I can prepare myself for this worst case scenario, but it's not. I said bronchiectasis is like a sucker punch because 1 minute you're well, you're having a laugh, you're doing things a little bit more. You're thinking, do you know what? If this carries on, I might be able to do this again. I might be able to do that again, and then boom, something just uppercuts you, like Mike Tyson's just landed one of his combinations on your nose, and you wake up to the reality that things will never change, things will be the same. So when people say, you can't be depressed, why don't you go and get some counselling? Why don't you go and take some tablets? The answer to that is the vicious circle of depression never ends because the vicious circle of illness never ends. So you can't really medicate it. You can't really do much with the counselling side of things. For anyone who's been to counselling, they teach me a bit. I feel like I'm getting somewhere, and then boom. And it's round that vicious circle of depression that you're supposed to get out of. And it's like, see, I don't think I'll be coming next week because you can't. You take 2 steps forward and then you're taking 10 steps backwards. Because when I've explained things to my doctor, he says, so it's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. I said, no. It's 2 steps forward, 10 steps back. And that's what it is. Right, I think I'll leave it on that note because we're running up to the hour mark, guys. I love yous. I'll see you when I see you. And one thing I want to say, them masks, them stupid masks, be very careful with them because go and Google them up. They're to protect nurses from you, to protect the person who's poorly, not the other way around. If you keep that on your face, you're basically having all the organisms, the bacteria and all that in your face, and things can latch onto the mask, you can breathe them in, you're cutting down your oxygen supply, and things like that. So over and out, stay safe, stay sexy, and tell him it's a vicious circle of depression, and you don't know shit, baby.